Hey, Big Rich here. How's it going, everyone? Been a while since I made a video. Got another project going on here. The old sprinkler system took a shitter on me. Got the old valves down here buried in the yard. They were under grass, no cover, no nice thing, so I'm gonna take the old valves, a couple of them have failed on me, take them all out, replumb everything, put a couple boxes in over in this area here, and redo the sprinkler system valves. So we'll kind of show you how we go through and do that. So as you can see, the old valves are pretty old and corroded. They're buried underneath the ground. Not doing so good. A few years back I had to repair one, so I dug up the yard. Had a flower bed back here, so I decided to not run them back underneath the sidewalk, but to get them closer, get them out of the yard so the lawn tractor and traffic isn't running over them. So I've dug a couple holes here for the new valves. I'm going to put one on each side just to kind of balance it. I got a couple boxes, valve boxes. We'll talk through that later on how to install those into the system. So there's the old valve pack down in the ground there. You can see I got some rusted out solenoids. This one's probably the one that's not working, and others are going. So today we're going to cut out the valve pack. I actually already labeled and colored all the wires, so I know what wires go to what valve. We got colors going to the zones, and we got a white going to all the grounds on the solenoid. So we'll wire it up the same way when we're done. So time to start digging it out. So the wires were buried down with the hose and valves, so we'll have to pull those back. And here we have the line coming underneath the sidewalk that will tie in. And I got one of the valve cover boxes down inside the hole, just making sure that I've got the right size hole. So these are the new valves. They're Orbit. They come pre-assembled. You got a manifold for the water input, and then 3 valves come on them. I bought 2 of these. I got 6 zones I need to reconnect to my house. Got the solenoids on them and wires to attach the solenoids. They have kind of a cool system here. They call them jar fittings, but they unscrew, so you can just butt a pipe up into it. Don't have to worry about twisting it, and screw them back in. The downside is this is a special thread, so you got to make sure you get the right fitting. This is a 3/4 inch. It came with this valve set. I need a 1 inch. I had to go order those because I got 1 inch system here. You can also get PVC if your system's PVC. So this is the manifold side, and it's got a PVC fitting. I'll actually connect the PVC and a threaded to get the water going into this. So water in here, these go out to each of the zones. This will get replumbed in the system. So these are going to go inside the 2 boxes that I bought. So I put a little pea gravel down at the bottom of the hole to set the base on, the valve base in the box. Help with some of the water drainage away from the system, and give it a nice, instead of putting it on dirt, a nice place for the valve pack to sit. And you can see how the valve pack sits down inside of the valve box. I'll put a little more pea gravel inside to raise that valve up so it's level with the bottom flange when I put everything together. But that's just a little dry fit to see how it fits in. These are unfortunately a custom fitting, so you had to buy the actual adapters that Orbit sells. You can't go to Home Depot and get something that's a little different. So you can see I got the 1 inch now instead of the 3/4 inch, so I bought 6 of these. I got 3 valves on one, 3 valves on another. And then the other thing I had to do is, so again, I got this is the manifold, the main line coming in. Again, I got the black 1 inch pipe. So at Home Depot, I actually had to buy an adapter to go from a 1 inch. So I used PVC glue, glued this onto their adapter, and then I've got a 1 inch threaded adapter on that going to a 1 inch pipe, right? So that just will go on the screws on the end of the manifold, right? Ready for the pipe. So pretty straightforward. This will go down inside my case here, inlet, and then out to the 3 zones on the other side of the valve pack. Hey. All right, we're ready to cut out the valves here. So I dug out and cleared out some of the dirt underneath to try and keep it clean. Actually spliced in a new hose. This is going to one of the zones. It had like 4 or 5 connections in it, so I wanted to clean it up, and I had to cut out a piece anyways. I'll finish that back up the other way after I run all the lines. So it's time to cut the valves off. So we're just gonna cut the wires. Doesn't really matter which ones I cut because I have them marked already, but we'll cut them close to where the tape is. the wires. They should be free. Now we're going to come through and just cut off the lines there. Got my 18 volt power tool, right? It solves all. Kind of works good for stuff like this. A little tougher than I thought, but did the job. And this valve should be loose now. It should just slide out of here. Got to untwist the wire from it. Of course, it's taped on, and there you go. The old valve pack out. And we have our lines here that will reconnect back in, try and keep the dirt away from them. Try and keep the water from going back in here. And there you have it. Ready to start putting it back together. So now we're going to take and put a little elbow in here. Got some hose clamps, right? 1-inch hose clamps. We'll put an elbow in and run each of these zone lines up to where the valves are going to go. Right, so that's the next step in the project here. Alright, looks like we got her done. Got all the pipes connected. Time to go to the other end and start hooking up the main water line to the valves and connect the other end. So I'm ready to put the valves in. You can see I had a couple extra pavers, so I decided to put some pavers in there to support it and raise it up. I got the knockouts on the other side here, so those are kind of nice. You know, I kind of messed up on the one box, so these boxes are pretty nice. They come with knockouts on both sides. One set of knockouts on one side is got 4 in a little narrower spacing. On the other side, it's got 3. So make sure you knock out the right side that you need to use. So we're ready to start connecting the valves inside the box. Alright, well, we've got the main water line connected. You can see the T-fitting coming in right around here, and it goes across into the elbow and connects into the manifold. And we got the other side connected too. So down inside the manifold, just preliminary sitting there. Next up, connect all the hoses to the manifold. We'll run this, let it sit all night and make sure that it doesn't leak. We got everything covered. Then we'll start working on the electrical and connecting the valves. Alright, well, project is almost complete here. I got the valves all wired in. You can hear the sprinkler running in the background. We got good pressure. You can see all the pipes coming in, connections. I got elbows going into the valves. Connections all went real well. I did tie a common ground, so I ran the one ground into this box here and then out of this box back over to the other box. But again, you're running DC, so it doesn't matter which end you connect. And just make sure you reconnect the zones to the right zones. I will put some pea gravel in when I bury the cables, just to try and drain some of the water down into the low spot in the yard. On that, making progress. So far, no leaks. That's the good news. Hey, Big Rich. Well, sprinkler system project is done. You can see them running in the background. Got all the electrical done. Starting to fill it back in. Only thing left to do in the project. Got to fill in the hole. Good enough. Another Big Rich project done. Feels good. That's the sitch with Big Rich.